Hey there, everybody. Meteorologist Keith Gibson here in the First Alert Weather Center. Great to have you here on this Sunday evening. Sorry for the brief delay right there, but we are now ready to start, and we'll get into our discussion. We have a couple of things that we are monitoring for the coming week, and let's get into that discussion here. Let me bring up the graphics and get everything all situated, and we are following a couple of different seasons in the week ahead. Let me tell you, it's going to be a bit of a wild week here. All right, so right now this evening, great to see you on this Sunday. Shock to the system, right? That chilly air. We were advertising much colder air today, only in the 30s. This has been one of the colder days we've had in quite some time, and we are looking at First Alert Viper Max just after 8 o'clock here on our Sunday evening. You can see some passing snow showers, some flakes out there. There may be a brief dusting here, but by and large, we're not looking at any exceptional amounts of snow as we go throughout the course of the evening and the overnight hours. There actually has been several inches of snow up across the UP, northwestern Wisconsin, but for us, what you see is what you're going to get. Just some nuisance amounts of some very light snow here this evening in some spots. Now, looking ahead, Tuesday, 10 o'clock, 10:06 actually, in the evening, spring officially begins. Now, we're talking about this because we're actually going to revert back to more of a winter-like pattern for most of the next 7 days, with the exception of Tuesday, the first day of spring, that actually will be a little bit milder here. So we have a couple of things that we will be talking about here. Snow chances are back. Yes, let's talk about the snow. We did a little brief discussion during our newscast tonight, Action 2 News at 5:30, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail here over the next 10 minutes or so. This evening, some light snow. Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, Thursday night, there could be a coating to an inch, 2 or 3 with a weather disturbance moving on through the region. So an early first alert regarding that. It's been a while since we've had a couple of inches of snow around here. It's crazy, but it's been a while. That could grease up things just a little bit on the highways. A bigger storm is possible at the end of next weekend or early next week. And I'm just throwing this out there because model data continues to hint at something, but this is still a long ways out, and a lot of things will be changing here as we get into the time frame, as we get closer to that time frame, rather, into next weekend. But I want to show you this real quick, and this is something that you probably already know, but these are numbers that are a little bit more specific. Over the last 10 years, I was just looking at the Green Bay area. Over the last 10 years, I am comparing the last quote-unquote big snow of the season, but preceding that, the warmest temperature we had before that last big snow. And this year's still in question. We're still awaiting that last big snow. But we were 72 on March 12th, less than a week ago. So we've already had some very warm air. We're just waiting for where we may end up with more snow before the season is officially done. Last year, we had 2.2 inches of snow on May 1st. After that 86 in mid-April. The year before that, 2022, 1.1 inches back on April 18th, but in March we were 62. So it's just kind of interesting to look back over the last 10 years. Of course, many of you will remember 2018, where it was 55 degrees March 18th, but by the middle of April, there was a blizzard, 24.2 inches of snow in a couple of days. So we can definitely get socked with a lot of snow as we get into this time of year for sure. March, April can produce some whoppers. Now, right now, we don't envision a whopper, but we have to be keenly aware that they can happen this time of year. So going into Predictor, I want to talk about where we are headed going into Thursday. This is that first disturbance coming our way. So don't really expect any significant active weather here between now and the middle of the week, but this would be Thursday evening about 9 o'clock. This is this weak disturbance that will come on down from the northwest. We have some model agreement here that's getting a little bit more favorable for at least some snow accumulation. This will be in, this will be out, but that could produce anywhere from a coating to an inch, 2 or 3, depending on how things shake out. Not a major ordeal for us, but as you know, it's just been so quiet for most of the winter that just a small amount of snow is going to have to get us back into that winter mindset. Even though spring begins Tuesday evening, we are going to swing back our way towards winter here later on this week. So that is the first system. Forecast confidence on this one relatively decent at this point. Again, this is still 4 days out, but we are seeing signs that there will be some snow, even if it's just light snow, some snow in the region there at that juncture on Thursday afternoon, Thursday evenings, Thursday night, somewhere in there. Now, next Sunday and Monday, at this point, it's a wait and see game. Models are hinting at something. They've been hinting at something of some sort in the region, and that means the Great Lakes region, the upper Midwest. Been hinting at that for the last couple of days. Way too early for specifics. I'm just basically throwing this out there to make you aware that something could happen in about a week here, and it's just a wait and see game right now. But what we do at this point, folks, is begin to look at various uncertainty. That's the best way to describe it here. So this map I'm showing you right here, this is something we're not really going to pop up on TV probably, just because it's kind of noisy, kind of busy. But now that we are having this little intimate discussion on our website, on our stream here, we can go into a little bit more details. This is a capsule, one ensemble forecast. It's a container that produces about 30 individual forecasts that are slightly different over time. But this is a depiction for next Monday about 1 o'clock, and each one of those areas of low pressure, the little L's right there, indicates where one of those model runs within that container is predicting an area of low pressure to be centered. So we expect there to be some storm somewhere in the region. This is very generic, but we expect there to be some storm somewhere in the region if this all comes together. But it could be anywhere from Detroit to Marquette to Omaha, Nebraska, down into Missouri. It could be centered right over Madison, Wisconsin. So this is a week away. There are hints that something could happen, and we are getting these updates several times a day, each and every day going forward. So as we get closer to next weekend, that wide distribution of low pressures will likely constrict around some favorable solution somewhere in the region. So just throwing that out there, folks. This could be a system that could end up being nothing. It could produce rain, and it will be on the mild side of it, or we could get some snow. We'll just have to wait and see here. But it is March, and we can get some big storms this time of year, as we showed you just a few minutes ago. So that was a container that showed a couple of different forecast runs. This is just one specific run from earlier today, the American GFS model. This is 7 a.m. next Monday, and it suggests that there's going to be an area of low pressure in the region, some rain, some snow, some wind. The placement on this way up in the air still, and just for comparison purposes, this is the European model. The model came out at the same time, but the placement of the area of low pressure is much farther west. It's actually a little bit faster. This would bring it in Sunday versus Monday. So that's why I'm saying late in the weekend and early next week. That's where we could have a couple of issues around here. But one thing to point out, and just digging into the details here, folks, is that, let me go back to this map right here. These various model runs here are producing, they want to suggest one of these containers of models has 30 different forecasts, one has 50. So between all of those, the mean snowfall total for Green Bay between now and the middle of next week is about 6 or 7 inches. We'll see if that verifies or not, but that is the mean of all of those various models running some data. But they range from anywhere from about a ½ inch to 19 inches. So that's a big broad range. So that is why we are not too concerned. This is not one of those times where we are really focused on a lot of catastrophic snow or major problems here at this point. But this is the time we start to get within that window where we can start to see what is possible. And then as we go through time each and every day, we'll start to pinpoint the location where something could develop and try to adjust the timing. So this could be a little bit delayed. A lot of times these bigger systems come in a little bit later than the initial projection. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if whatever does happen gets pushed back a little bit more into next week. So again, we'll just wait and see. Right now, it is a chilly one out there. As you know, most of us in the 20s. We have some teens out there. Wind chills, man, it's nasty relative to where we have been. Just a few days ago, we had 70-degree temperatures. It was record warmth, and now we have feel-like temperatures in the teens, single digits. It feels as cold as 4 in Duluth, Minnesota. Locally, though, some teens, single digits here. Blustery winds from the northwest will continue. Those winds are actually going to die down a little bit tonight into tomorrow. So it's been brisk. It won't be as bad tomorrow, but it's still going to be a chilly Monday for us, and we stay below average. Our lows tonight will be in the low 20s in the Fox Valley, some teens across the North Woods tomorrow. I expect we'll have a little bit more sunshine. We have a lot of cloud cover in the region now, but we should start to break things up just a little bit. But keep in mind the average high is 41. We were below average today. I expect us to be below average tomorrow. Mid to maybe upper 30s for most spots, some upper 20s, low 30s across the North Woods, but that's still below average. 2 consecutive days that are below average, kind of crazy, but it's going to be another chilly one here on our Monday. And just your hour-by-hour planner here. Don't really expect a lot of fanfare from many of those flurries tonight into tomorrow morning, but definitely you'll need to have that beefy winter coat in the morning with wind chill temperatures in the teens and single digits, and actual air temperatures around 20 degrees in the Fox Valley. By the afternoon, a little bit more sunshine, not as much wind, with temperatures in the mid to upper 30s here. So our close-in near-term run of First Alert Pinpoint Predictor shows the cloud cover continuing tonight, some snow showers, and the better snow will continue to be to our north in the UP. That will wind down tomorrow. Hopefully a little bit more sunshine. Now tomorrow night there could be another weak disturbance crossing parts of northern Wisconsin and the UP. Can't rule out a little bit of light snow there, especially north of Green Bay tomorrow night, but that's still a little bit iffy. If it does happen, it really won't be too terribly much in the big picture, but we'll have to watch it for any possible slippery spots. And then going into our Tuesday, the first day of spring, we start to moderate things a little bit, a mix of sun and clouds. And quickly, your First Alert 7-day forecast, this is where we are headed for the next week, and we'll just continue to monitor things. In the near term, though, 30s Monday, 47 Tuesday, the first day of spring, the warmest day there. And then we cool back down into the 30s. We're going to trend things back the opposite direction. Although Wednesday's actually looking decent sun-wise, it could be a little bit brisk as well. So I'm not putting any windy icons or breezy icons on the 7-day, but there will be some days here with some breezes, and with these cooler temperatures, it will be on the nippy side. So it's definitely not going to be like the last couple of weeks around here where we were living like carefree with 50s, 60s, and 70s. Definitely a shock. And we will be trending most days below average here with the exception of Tuesday. 30s, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think the best chance of snow in the near term, as we mentioned, is going to be Thursday, especially in the afternoon and evening, going into Thursday night. And then there could be a little bit flakes lingering Friday, maybe Saturday, but we really would be watching out for next Sunday and early next week for that potential bigger system if we have it. But looking at some of our forecast model guidance, it's just not too clear-cut at this point as far as what we're going to see come out of that. So there is your 7-day forecast. We have a couple of quiet days just on the cooler side here. The warmest day is going to be Tuesday, and then we'll have some more wintry weather. But right now, it doesn't look like anything too terribly crazy during the work week, but there could be some slick spots here, especially Thursday afternoon and evening with maybe a coating to a couple of inches of snow. We'll refine that and, of course, watch next weekend. So that's the latest and greatest here from the First Alert Weather Center in downtown Green Bay, Wisconsin at WBAY TV. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope you have a great start to the work week. We'll see you on TV tonight at 10 and, of course, all week long on Action 2 News. Have a good night.